I'm Jensen Denoyes here for a new and exciting episode of Hero and You. Please subscribe us on our YouTube page, Hero and You. We are here filming at Bridgewater State University in Bridgewater, Massachusetts. We are celebrating our 10th anniversary of Hero and You airing. Throughout the years, the cast and crew members of Hero and You have been highlighting heroes in our community, showcasing their talents and skills, using topics to connect to a comic book issue so you can
find the hero in you.
That's right. And as we're celebrating our 10th anniversary, we actually have a new co-host. I'm honored to introduce you to Iliandra Antunes. Pleasure to have you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, please tell us about yourself.
Sure. So my name is Iliandra Antunes, and my sister is Simone Antunes. She was formerly here with this program. And I'm a proud Cape Verdean. I've been here since I was 4 years old. Okay. And I'm so happy to be in this community of diverse people and excellent achievements of sports. So I'm so excited to be here.
Awesome, awesome. We're glad to have you here.
Thank you.
It's an honor. Today's topic is on responsibility. The late Stan Lee has a quote that says, "With great power comes great responsibility." On this episode, we're going to talk about the importance of accountability and how responsibility is a great quality trait that you can use in all aspects of your life, whether it's sports, school, the workplace, or even in your community. And we actually have an exclusive interview with the president of Bridgewater State University, Mr. Fred Clark. You definitely don't want to miss this episode.
The superhero we are using today is Spider-Man from pages of Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man number 14, written by Tom Taylor. He writes about how Peter Parker, aka Spider-Man, leads by example by taking responsibility for his actions. But first, we interviewed the City Councilor of Brockton, Moises Rodrigues. He's Executive Director of the Cape Verdean Association in Brockton. He's helped so many families in this community with wellness, education, resources, and let's talk about his responsibility in this role.
The Cape Verdean Association, since its founding days, has always been to assist the new arrivals, new immigrants, not just Cape Verdeans, because one of the things that we did back in 2012, we augmented the name of the association to include the Greater Brockton Immigrant Assistance Center, or the Assistance Center of the Greater Brockton community, because we don't assist just Cape Verdeans. It's Haitians, Brazilians, the Latino communities, or Asian communities, individuals as well. So it has always been to provide some guidance, some service, some assistance to those that are coming into our community, and to assist them in becoming more of the Americans that they should in order to help us flourish in this community. I mean, I don't consider myself a hero. I consider myself someone that was fortunate enough to come to this country as a teenager with both my parents and siblings in a decent-sized family circle that provided me with the guidance and help that I needed to somehow succeed in this new tapestry of America, in the sense. So I believe that we all have some responsibility to do for others. It's to give back to our community. You know, some folks in our community are not as fortunate as I was. Some people, that came here at my age, they were busy working to try to, assist their families both here and overseas. I didn't have that necessity, in the sense. So my thing was to go to school, join the military, do what I could to better my personal life. So then I now feel that I have an obligation to be able to go back to my community and give some of what I was given, although by my parents, by my family members, but have the ability to give back to my community, because I think we all have a responsibility to do that, and it's a great responsibility, because, to borrow that old saying from the mother continent, it does take a village. It does take a village, not just to bring up a child, but to help a community out or individuals out. So it's not just a child, because sometimes there aren't no children that need help, but their parents do, or their grandparents do, or uncles and aunts and stuff. So it's not. So I see it as it takes a village to raise a village. I have always been a great follower of Martin Luther King. I see him as someone who, and I've said it in various circles that I've gone to, as someone that didn't have to do what he did. You know, he had a great life, a minister, had a doctoral degree, a very good job, a very good family. He didn't have to do the things that he did to help his fellow man. So that's the thinking that I've always had, because I've had a decent life. Again, supported family, a great wife, great kids, great family, parents, siblings, and things like that. But I also feel that there's a need in all of us, a calling in all of us to do something beyond our own little circles. You know, so I always use the teachings of MLK to basically mold my duties and responsibilities in our community. So that basically, I bring that whole thinking into this association, thinking that it needs to be a place where people feel safe. It needs to be a place where people feel that they're going to be heard. It needs to be a place where people feel that they have a voice, and that it basically is, it includes all of us to be able to work together to move things forward, because it's not just me. I'm not the only person that is here. I don't open the doors and close the doors. I don't clean the floors or don't clean the floors. You know, I'm not the only one that seeks out funds to help this organization out. There's a bunch of us that do that work on a daily basis, but I feel that it's an important concept for us to know that it takes all of us to move this thing forward, and that's the principle, the principles of this organization, that we're here to make sure that those that come after us find this place a little bit better than they found. This building is actually it's actually owned by the community. It does not have an owner. It doesn't have a mortgage. We don't pay rent here because it's actually owned by the community. So that being said, this is a place that every single person in this community owns a piece of it. So that being said, if it's almost like when you're an owner of something, it's up to every single one of us to assume the responsibility for the place that we own. So my appeal is to the entire community. You've got some ideas of some things that we can do better? This is your place. You want to do something for the good of the community? This is your place. You want to bring some new methodologies of doing some things? This is your place. And it doesn't matter, again, as I said in the beginning, it doesn't matter if you're Cape Verdean or not. This is your place, and we want to make sure that this continues to be a place of refuge to help those that really truly need help, and we're going to continue to do this for as long as we can, because again, it's owned by the community, so therefore the community has to assume the leadership and the ownership of it, and that's what we strive for on a daily basis from this place. We're all heroes, or none of us are heroes. You know, we're here to make sure that our communities are doing much better, that our communities continue to grow. I tell people this all the time. Somebody says, oh, the city is dirty, this is dirty, this is dirty, and my thing is, where's your broom? When was the last time you picked one up and cleaned up around your place? It's the old star theory. If you do one, then one is cleaner. You know, you'll continue to do that. So it takes all of us to make this community a better community. So I hope that those that are listening to us, those that are watching this, will heed the calling to, pick up a broom and help us clean the city. Pick up a broom and help us clean the neighborhoods. Do something with the kid in your neighborhood. Do something with that elderly person that that lives alone, that doesn't have the help that he or she needs. Do something for those that you see heading in the wrong direction. Point them in the right direction. But do something. Don't just cross your arms in hopes that somebody else is going to do it for you, because there's a very good chance that no one's going to do it if you don't start out doing it yourself.
Sports in schools help with responsibility, teamwork, mindfulness, strategy, and academic achievement. We recently interviewed Kevin Karo, the Director of Athletics at Brockton High School, for his take on this. Let's play the clip. He also demonstrated how he did it himself as well.
One of the things that I really not just like but love is my job. I really love working here at Brockton High, being the athletic director and being in charge of all of our sports programs and working with our student athletes. It really is, I tell people all the time, I have the best job in the city. And I honestly mean that. And outside of here, there's a lot of things that I love to do. I love to play golf. It's one of my passions that I love. I love to cook. I love to travel. I love going to the beach. I love going to listen to concerts. So I try to do a little bit of everything, because I find that if you just work all the time, you can get burnt out. And I think that I've been able to find a really good balance between work and taking care of myself and cooking and eating healthy and spending some time away from the job. So that's what keeps me going. When I created a list a few days ago, I didn't really realize all the things that I'm in charge of. And the perception of an athletic director is, oh, he just schedules some games and rolls out the balls. And if it looks easy, that means that I've done my job. But there's so much that really goes into it, from making sure that the bus schedule is all set, making sure that the officials are assigned for games, making sure that all the teams have the equipment that they need for the season, reordering uniforms if we need to, ordering equipment for every season, fall, winter, and spring. Hiring and evaluating coaches is something that I'm responsible for. Overseeing the weight room with off-season conditioning, setting up lunches for when the teams travel. Chartwell's has been great with us, and they have provided lunches for our teams. So all those things that people kind of like, oh yeah, they kind of take care of themselves. It starts with me, and it's just one of those things that I've been very lucky to have a great secretary that helps me out, and I've known a lot. I've worked in the district a long time, so if I need a favor or somebody needs to help us out, they're able to do so. We try to keep the mistakes to a minimum. And it'll happen from time to time where a game isn't covered, or I have a bus that's missing, but we try to fix it really quick so it doesn't impact the kids and the coaches and the parents who may have to go travel to a game. So I've been lucky, knock on wood, that we haven't had too many mistakes. But when you do, you just make sure that you do everything you can to make it right. You let the people that are in charge know that this has happened. Communication with everyone's super important, with administration, with parents, with coaches, with kids, and we like to think that we do a good job at that. I think that athletics, the thing I love about athletics is it teaches you so much more than what you may get out of a classroom or from a book. It teaches you how to work together as a team, to set goals for yourself, to deal with adversity. I think that's the big one for me, is that sports teaches you a lot about things you're going to face in life, and how you deal with it. And it helps you grow as a person, and then hard work pays off, and no one's going to hand anything to you. And that is what I think is important for our student athletes to really get out of the sport they play. Honestly, they love their sport, and that's their passion, but they have to put the work in. And the only place that success comes ahead of work is in the dictionary. That's what I've always said. And I just think that, just not for the girls soccer team, but for all of our other sports teams, that if they do those little things and they work hard and they set goals and they're good teammates and they pick one another up, success translates on the field. Athletics has always been a part of who I am. As a little kid, I was the youngest in the neighborhood, and I always played against the older kids, and whether it be football in the fall or ice hockey out on the pond, I just loved to compete as a kid. And when I got to high school, I was able to play basketball and baseball, which was my really love, and had the opportunity to go play collegiately down in Texas, where I'm very proud of my Hall of Fame trophy there, that I set a lot of school records, and I had a chance to play professionally for a little bit. And then my time as a athlete came to an end, but I know I wanted to be involved because it really meant a lot to me, and the path eventually brought me to where I am today. Kids relate to superheroes really well. I mean, that's one of the things that it doesn't matter where you come from, everybody has their favorite, but being responsible is something that is a quality that will translate from when you're a little person all the way to get old like me. You got to be responsible, you have to be accountable, you look out for other people, you do right by other people. And if you do those things, then I guarantee you're going to be successful in whatever you do.
The Boys and Girls Club is a huge part of our community. I had the privilege to interview Marcus Washington at the Breakfast with Santa. It was so much fun. Go check it out. Welcome back to Hearing You. My name is Elsa Suxo, and today I have Marcus Washington, the Executive Director here at the Boys and Girls Club Metro South Brockton Club, because apparently they have 3, right?
Yes,
So today we're going to talk about responsibility, but before we start, I want to know who you are and how you got into here.
So, Marcus Washington, Executive Director of the Brockton Clubhouse for the Boys and Girls Club of Metro South. I am a husband, father of 4. My oldest is just turned 21, and my youngest is a boy who is 8 years old. I've been working as a youth development professional for 21 years now, so since I was 19, and I am 40 now. This was not the plan when I first went to college, but this is something that as I got more into it over the years, that working with youth is my passion. It is something that I get up every day excited to do. I live in Rhode Island, and I take an hour drive to come to the clubhouse, and that hour drive is made easier by the fact that I know that I get to come here and make an impact in the community of Brockton.
That's dedication right there. Well, as your responsibility here, what is it of Executive Director?
So as the Executive Director, my responsibility and duties are to oversee the whole operations of this building. So that would be, managing and, creating the budget for this clubhouse, as well as supervising the several directors that I have, making sure that this is a safe place for all the kids in Brockton to be able to come to, that they have great programming, great support. We have a saying in this clubhouse that we can't control what happens at school, we can't control what happens at home, but when they come in here, we have full control of what happens with the youth in this community, and we can make sure that this is a safe, fun place for them.
That's awesome. And I was here for the Breakfast with Santa. Thank you so much. That was so fun. What was your responsibility for today?
So to coordinate, manage, it wouldn't have been successful without the team. It took my whole team to make this a successful event. Also, the partners that we had donations from Shaw's, from Starbucks, the DA's office. We had it from the Blue Knights biker team as well. We also had my CEO. So my CEO, Derek Heim, he was just coming to say hi, make a quick visit, and he ended up in the kitchen making eggs and pancakes for us just to show support. So again, it wouldn't have been successful without the help of the rest of the team. I just played a very small part in it to get it started.
Well, awesome. Well, thank you so much. And last question for you. What's the definition of responsibility to you?
To me, I think there's so many different things that go into that definition. For me personally, though, responsibility for me as a father is to make sure that my kids are set up for success, that they have a better childhood and more opportunities than I had as a child. And I try to do that same thing as much as possible for the kids in this clubhouse. I think for the responsibility of this clubhouse, again, is trying to make sure that the kids have a safe place to come to. They have great adult mentors in their lives. I love it when a child grows up and they're able to look back and look at their time with the Boys and Girls Club of Metro South and just have a bunch of good memories. And also maybe that's something that they can pay forward as they get older. We have a lot of staff that start off as children in the clubhouse, and as they're older now they're staff with us. And it's a great to see because we have kids, they look up to them and they say, when I get older, I want to be a staff here to make that same impact.
Peter Parker, aka Spider-Man, was a gifted student who earned a graduate degree in biophysics and a doctorate in biochemistry at Empire State University. He developed into a mature, responsible, and independent adult during college. It just shows you that college as an institution plays a major role in our society. Here when you recently interviewed the president of Bridgewater State University, Mr. Fred Clark, he talks about his role and how he is responsible to help the students get a great education. Let's play the clip, and most importantly, go Bears.
Our motto is not to be ministered unto, but to minister. What it really means is not to be taught, but to teach, not to be served, but to serve. So we instill that in every member of the community, especially in our students. So we want to be sure that everyone who is at Bridgewater is not just a great student, but a good person. And part of being a good person means you have to give back, you have to lean in, you have to be there for others. We do that individually with students, faculty, and staff, but we do it, I think, pretty well as a university that lives to make a difference for everyone in this region and beyond. And it's also animated by our values. The values of Bridgewater State are alive. You know, we don't support any kind of hate on this campus. We support inclusion and equity. We want every single student to feel welcome, a sense of belonging, and safe. And and that's what we do every single day here at BSU. Our values animate our engagement with the community and beyond. Student success is our #1 goal. That's why we're here, to help our students to succeed. Every student, one student at a time, without exception. That's what we say. To actually do that, we've provided more support than at any point in our history. Financial support for students in terms of financial aid, federal, state, and local historic levels. We also understand, and this is the equity frame, that not all of our students come from the same place. They don't all have the same supports, the same family background, the same educational opportunities. That this institution needs to understand the students that are here, the students that are in front of us. If you understand your students, you can actually provide supports to surround them so that they can have an opportunity to succeed. That, for us, is the definition of equity. And in addition to financial supports, we provide other supports for academic tutoring. We have one of the largest academic achievement centers around. We provide something that's new, brand new, is student navigators. And navigator is the perfect word because we understand holistic advising is the best way to help students to succeed. It's more than just what happens in the classroom. You have to be mindful of what happens in life. And our student navigators help students that need a little bit of extra support. So it's a lesson we learned actually from another institution, another part of the country. We've deployed here at Bridgewater to great effect. And there's many, many other supports for our students, but those are the most critical ones. I'm a graduate of Bridgewater State University, and I also realize when you're in a leadership role, whatever role you're in, people watch you. And you have to live the example that you want everyone else to live. In other words, if I was not hardworking or not honest and people knew that, they wouldn't really follow, So you have to be the example. I try to be the example here at BSU. And being responsible, a part of being responsible, first of all, is to support the students we're privileged to serve and everyone who works on this campus. A university is not buildings and programs, it's people. So we invest in our people. But you also have to be the example. So I do everything I can to lean into our students, even when the day is done. There's other ways to find ways to lean in. I joined my wife and I, she's the president of the Alumni Association. We both met here at Bridgewater as students. But in my own community, I'm involved with the Boys and Girls Club of Brockton in Metro South. I'm on the Old Colony Y Board, Chamber of Commerce, the New England Board of Higher Education, and many, many other organizations, just to remember that you have to lean in, you have to volunteer time, and you have to be the example, in my case on this campus, but also in my community. We all do. This is our community, and it's up to us to make it the best it can be.
That was an amazing interview by President Fred Clark from Bridgewater State University. Awesome work with the institution, and he talks about his role and his responsibility for the school. And this episode is about responsibility. We would like to know, how has responsibility shaped you to be the woman that you are, Iliandra?
Oh, that's a great question. So first and foremost, responsibility has shaped me by first being a mom of a 2-year-old daughter, and she requires a lot of patience, a lot of time management, knowing that I have to be the type of parent to be able to show up and work around her schedule. So being that responsible parent, making sure that she's good, making sure that she's fed, all those responsibilities I need to do. But besides that, before that, I was also juggling work and school at the same time. So that required a lot of time management. It required a lot of being able to show up, making sure that I was able to choose my classes, making payments on time,
Right.
and going to school, going to work. So all the responsibility as a female, as a woman, or as a person, it took a lot of time for me to know what I want to do to set my goals for the future.
I
So,
can imagine.
Yeah.
Well, Iliandra, I just want to say thank you so much for being on the 10th
Yeah.
year anniversary Hero New celebration, and we're glad to have you on the team
I'm
and
so
the
happy to be
family.
here.
You know, welcome aboard.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Overall, we have learned the importance of responsibility. A final example is coming from issue number 14 of Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, written by Tom Taylor. Through this issue, readers understand that Aunt May has been there for Peter Parker while he was growing up, especially after his parents had died. However, Aunt May is hospitalized now, battling cancer. She is about to go under anesthesia. Peter tells her that she is going to sleep now, but when she wakes up, he will still be in the room to care for her. Peter must live up to that promise. Can he do that as Spider-Man? Later that night, a blackout cuts off New York City's energy supply. Peter feels obligated to intervene because he is Spider-Man. With great power comes great responsibility. He leaves Aunt May behind so he can try to fix the issue. Fortunately, Spider-Man discovers that his amazing friends, such as Iron Man, Miles Morales, and the Fantastic Four, have decided to protect the neighborhood during his time of need. Peter is free to be with his aunt, and eventually returns to the hospital and stays close to his aunt when she awakes the following day. If Spider-Man did not return to the hospital to look after his aunt, she would wake up devastated and disappointed, knowing that her nephew did not keep his word. He could have easily joined the other superheroes to save the city from the blackout. However, Spider-Man knows responsibility involves fulfilling a commitment and meeting obligations. Instead, Peter Parker takes care of his sick aunt at the hospital, demonstrating he understands the importance of responsibility. If you want to share how responsible you are for your community, please visit our website at www.findthehero.com. Also, follow us at our X page at The Hero in You and our Instagram page at The Hero in You. Like us on our Facebook page, www.facebook.com/The Hero in You. Please subscribe to our YouTube page, The Hero in You, and also follow us at our TikTok page at Hero_in You. And you can find the hero in you.